Okay, let's start round 7. So, where are we now? We've got, let's jump to the map screen. Okay, we got a lot of technology this round. Finally got those alloyed factories because I had no chance not to get it. I also had a pretty high chance of getting Fleet Academy, so that's expected. And I got a little lucky on the Starship engine. So, basically researched everything that I set out to research. So from this information, the biggest one right now is the alloy factories. I'm going to want to upgrade my industry. So you can see that my blue, I call it my blue planet, the one that's making 4,500 of alloys a turn. If you just click upgrade all, yeah, it won't let me. Okay, it should, if you had enough resources, it would be 30 sell and 30 buy, but I can't buy 30 in one go, so it's not letting me do it. So what we're going to have to do, and this is actually a good thing, I wanted to show how the market works. So the Galactic Market is the one area we haven't talked about. Essentially, each resource goes, each commodity, I guess, is the highest value one per credit is the red one, the arrays, followed by the yellow one, energy, and the alloys are the lowest. They start at roughly 40, 20, 10, and they will go up and down somewhat randomly, but also mostly they will go up and down based on supply and demand, or more accurately, how much people buy and sell them. So depending on how many times people are buying and selling these resources based on what all the players are doing, it's going to affect the prices. However, it's important to note that none of these values will go lower. They can go as high as possible, but none of them will go lower than half of their original value. So the lowest that red can go is 20, yellow can go as 10, and blue can go as 5. And then it'll just stay there and probably, kind of wiggle between 5 and 6 or 10 and 11, depending on what's going on. I'll continue to bounce this thing, but what I've noticed is later in late game, it will start to tank a little bit because people are desperate for credits to buy lots of fleets and armies and stuff. But I think there's a lot of fun in the Galactic Market. It's a good way to, you can manipulate the market. So for example, you could put in a lot of buy orders for something when you know you're going to be making a lot of that resource, and then you can sell a lot later and make some money. So there's things you can do like that, and I'm totally fine with that. Also, in the beginning of the game, in the first few turns like this, you do want to use this to help your empire get what you need. So let's just take a look at what we've got here. Okay, so what do we want to do? We want to buy these factories. It'll cost 2,000 per advanced factory. When you sell sell any industry, you will gain back. You see, I'll gain back 100 alloys. So you get all your resources back. What you don't get back is the credits. Credits is kind of paying the people to do the work. So I will get back 3,000 alloys. But when I buy them, I'm going to need 6,000 alloys, which I have already. So obviously the limiting factor here is the credits. I'm going to need 60,000 credits, so that shouldn't be too hard to do. Looks like I have a lot of energy as well, a lot of energy to play with here. So, and you know why I have a lot of energy? Because I've been buying a lot of these mechanized troops, and they take alloys, and so I haven't really been spending a lot on energy or arrays. Now, this is a relatively new change. I used to have it so that when you use the market, you have to wait a turn for your orders to come in, but now I give it to you instantly. It was a suggestion from my son, actually, who tests this game, and I think it's a good one because you do get back the resources instantly when you sell. So like when I sell these, I'll just sell all of these, I get everything back instantly, and I can change my mind instantly. So why can't the market be like that? Which is fair. Okay, so let's put those guys back there. Okay, so I'm selling all of those. Now I need the credit. So I'm going to go to the market, and I'm going to sell. You can choose the denomination here. I'm going to sell maybe 2,000. Let's make it 4,000. I bet you this will affect the price of this on the next round, but we'll see. Okay, so now I have a little bit more money to play with. I should be able to buy. Yeah. Okay, so now I'll be making more of these next round. Now I could also, a good time to change the makeup of your planet is when you have an advanced resource coming in. So I could actually, because these planets are inefficient, they're using the level 1 industry. I could just make all of them make the new blue, make the alloys, and then just use the market to buy what I need. It's not a bad idea, but I believe I'm going to be, yeah, I'm going to be getting synthetic systems. Well, I think I'll be going for those, right? What else I'll be going? Oh, yeah, the crystal mines. Or should I? No, I think I was just going to power down over here. Yeah, because I really liked all of these. I really want to get these right away. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do, actually. Let's do that. All right, so that means I'm going to need a lot more credits. So let's just sell everything I've got. Sell, basically, let's get as many credits as I can. And I'm going to sell this too. And I'm going to need to buy, I'm going to need a lot more alloys to do this. So I'm going to buy as much as I can. This is going to spike up. See, this is actually a good strategy. This is going to spike up, because I'm putting in a big buy order, this will spike up alloys. And since I'm making all my planets make alloys, that's going to help me, at least in the short term, economically. All right, so now I'm going to sell all of those old basic level industry, and I'm going to buy a bunch of alloys. Now, the other key thing is I have to remember to make this the blue planet type, not red. Okay, so same with this guy. So I'm going to sell all of those and buy all the blue. There we go. So now they're all blue. Okay, good. So I'm going to be making a lot of blue in the near future here. I also am going to keep buying troops. They are fairly expensive, by the way, the troops. Look at that, 7,200 for one regiment, but that's by design. Okay, so I'm going to buy more troops. Looks like I won this battle. 8, I had 8, 3, I lost 3, they lost 3, so that's pretty good. Ooh, 5 is not a lot to take on 10. Here's the problem. So just so you understand how this is working, you don't have the, or I don't have, oh I do actually, I have the basic militia fortress. You can see if one of those would give me 1 militia regiment as defense. And if you recall, this had 3, so it probably has 3 fortresses on it. So the thing about fortresses is that it's kind of like a renewable defense. It's like it represents kind of like a static renewable defense. So if you invade a neutral planet or any planet that has fortresses and you lose, those militia regiments will be there all ready to go for the next round. They'll always be there, ready to defend. So you need to take it out in one shot. I'm taking a bit of a risk going at it with 5. So I'm going to send these 3 down, and I'll attack it the next round. I'll leave these guys here, and I'm going to send these guys over here. And you know what I think I forgot to do last round is I didn't do anything with this planet, which was kind of dumb. So I'm going to use these cities. Oh, the other thing to note is when you take over a neutral planet, there's kind of a random prize of what you'll get. So you could get some really high-end technology industry here. So I got like advanced crystal mines, for example, which is okay. But what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to buy some more research, I think. So I'm going to sell all, those are basic. I'm going to sell all those, buy research. I want to get lots of research going, which I recommend is a good idea. Oh, look over here what I got. I got jamming stations. So jamming stations are not useful if you're not playing against other humans because the computer doesn't care about that stuff. But very helpful when you're trying to jam radar signals so that they can't see what's on your planet. So definitely don't want those. Advanced army installation is pretty good. That means these guys can make troops. They can make, with 2 of those, I'm making 4 armies around, which is better than these 3. So that's helpful because I actually want to turn this into a resource planet, my home planet. So I'm going to keep those, and I'm going to buy those simulation centers back. I'll buy 1 of those. and some design centers, maybe another simulation center, and maybe a research center. So that I can slowly replace this homeworld. And on this homeworld, do I want to sell those? Do I want to sell everything there? I guess I'll sell off these army installations. And for now, I'll buy more research. I am going to turn that into a industry planet soon, but for now I think that's a good conversion. Okay, so a bit of a blunder last round. I didn't use this, but I remembered now. That's okay. I'm going to hold off these guys, move those guys there, move these guys over here. Let's just double check the tactics. Yeah, it's still good. None of them are damaged. They'd be kind of highlighted orange if they were damaged. I didn't bother to watch the battle. I think it's going to be pretty much the same as what we've seen before. Now, technology-wise, I remember this is the one that we're trying to get to. We want to get to the artillery. This is very important. Armor would be nice, and then we're getting into these really good industries. So I'm going to just put as much of my technology. You can see how it's just eating up all my technology, which I think 80% is a good chance. What else do we want to do? This is not bad. I'll give that like a 20% chance. Just those two. Oh, here we go. I could get some better infantry here. Then I could get better drones. What else would be good? Fleet Academy. Targeting computers would be nice. You know what? Let's just max this out. It's too important. And we might as well just put some into that. So a little bit conservative, what I'm doing, putting all my research into one thing and not even giving any chance. But I'm going to just do it anyways. Okay, and that did... oh, good. My buddy understood. And now we have a non-aggression pact. So a non-aggression pact, at this level, 2 empires have agreed to not attack each other. And as such, their ships and troops cannot move onto the other empire's planets until this diplomatic level is reduced. So you would get at least one turn of notice before you have to worry about being attacked by that person. So that's a good thing to remember when you're playing a multiplayer game. So I'm going to keep increasing it. Again, we should get to the next level. And I think I'm done my turn. Oh, and he did his other turn too, which was great. So I can do 2 turns at once. So we'll jump right into the next turn. So look, there's a battle happening with Scorpius, and I think one of these is mine. One of these is probably the one that he had. So this will get really a lot longer as the game gets moving, and if you have a lot of human players, you can have up to 8 players playing. So you'll have to learn to be patient when you're playing this game because it's asynchronous and it doesn't have a server doing it in the background for you. I made the server very light. Previous versions of this game, the server was much heavier and it would do all the simulations itself and then let everybody play. Like it would give an email letting everybody know the next turn's ready. But now I force whoever's the last person to end the turn to do it on the server's behalf. This just makes it so the server can be very light, which is easier for people running servers. And especially because running servers can be expensive if you're running them on a cloud or something. And then you can have a much lighter server. This thing runs easily on pretty much anything the server does. But it does mean that your PC has to be up for a little while, maybe a few minutes when it's a bigger game. Just something to keep in mind if you're going to be playing this game. Okay, so looks like we won again. It's to be expected. Let's keep the party going. None of my guys got hurt. You can see their experience is starting to go up, but not a lot. That's because they're not fighting large amounts of enemies yet. That's okay though. Keep sending them over. These guys are going to go down. Try to take the next planet. Now my troops can no longer be built here, but they can be built over here now, right? So I'm going to build 4 troops now over there. I'll send these guys over here. Okay, I didn't take anything over there. What did I do? Of course I got the... Oh, look, I rolled a 99. So I could have put hardly anything in and I would have got it. Well, that's the way it goes. Okay, so I got the radar, not super helpful, but not horrible. The way radar works, there's two types of radar. There's radar that you can put on your ships. So if you go to your ship design, say I wanted to update my design here. Let's say I took away one of the missile ammo components, so it has a little less ammo, and I put in one of these fancy progressive radar scanners. So what that means now is that any ship, and say I save this, and I updated my ships to this design, then they would have a little radar on their ship. What does that do is when they fly around, they can scan adjacent planets if those planets don't have jamming. That's super helpful strategically because you'll kind of see what's on that planet. And similarly, ships can put jammers on there and they can jam incoming radar scans. And then you can also do that by a different technology where you can build jammers and scanners on your planet. Like I think I showed that from this planet had 3 of those, but I didn't really need that, so I got rid of them, right? So keep that in mind. That's a really a good way to like quickly see what's going on. The AI does not jam. The AI will happily let you scan it. The AI is fairly simple that way, but the AI also doesn't need radar scanners. It knows what you have, and it does its best to attack you with what it has. So it's kind of like a, it's not totally playing by the rules, but that's common when you're building AI. It's a fairly simple AI. It just kind of expands and tries to kill you, and it won't be your friend. So it's more like a I don't know, like the Borg or something. It's just slowly growing and just going to keep trying to take you over. But it is fairly challenging and fun to play against. Certainly not as fun to play against as another player, but at least it's challenging enough that it actually is fun to have like a cooperative game with a buddy or 2 buddies. You could have a 3-on-3 or a 4-on-4 or a 2-on-5 or whatever you want to try, as long as the map can handle up to 8 players. So, okay, so with that, let's go to our technology screen. Well, let's keep this party going. These are going to get more and more expensive to research as I go down the tree. Maybe I'll go to 70%. And let's get those fusion drones. Light fusion drones would be nice. I could make a carrier. Because I have the basic carrier. I just don't have the fusion drones. And with that in mind, I'm going to make that design right now. Okay, so it's important to show how to make a carrier design. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to allow all technology in order to plan this out. So I know I'm going to be getting fusion drones, which is this one. No, that's nuclear drone, medium, heavy nuclear drone. I don't have any drones. Okay, light fusion drone. So it only has 1 quadrant. So no matter what direction it gets hit from, it's going to hit this 1 quadrant. But drones do not need rotation thrusters or basic thrusters. It just has a stock movement of acceleration of 8, and it'll go up based on the technology level, but it has an acceleration of 8, which is fairly fast, and rotation of 60, which is very fast. So you just have to put a weapon in it and you definitely want to give it some power plants so it can shoot its weapon. It can have anti-missile guns. Drones are very susceptible to missiles. That's kind of like a rock, paper, scissors. Drones are quite powerful against ships with big direct fire weapons because those big ships will get distracted by the drones and try to turn to shoot them, and the drones can kind of blast them up and get behind them and shoot them in the back and stuff. But drones take extra damage against missiles. So missiles are kind of like a counter to drones. And then ships with big direct fire weapons and a really good anti-missile gun array, especially with targeting computers, are very powerful against missiles and torpedoes. So that's kind of the rock, paper, scissors. But of course, there's a lot of balancing to do in this game. I'm sure of it. But in any case, drones are definitely good to have. So let's see what I'm going to unclick that. What do I have for basic weapons right now? A medium phaser gun. That's what I'll have to put in. I'm going to make it point to the side, so the drone it'll close towards its enemy, and then it'll turn and it'll start circling the enemy if I make the gun point to the side. If I make it point to the front, the drone will just start shooting and just charge right into the enemy and then past it, and it'll turn around and shoot it from the back. So that's the kind of fun you can. And if I'm playing from the rear, it'll turn around, shoot from the rear, then turn back towards it, and then turn back and turn back towards it. So there's no right way to do it, but experiment. Use the simulator, try different methods, see what works for your strategies. So we'll put the medium phaser gun here. That's not a very good gun, but it's all we have right now. And, oh, we have energy batteries. They're not super helpful. Power plant. So you see here how the charge is roughly 5 seconds to track it. It's pretty slow because it's a medium-sized weapon. Ideally, I'd have targeting computers that makes the tracking time less, but I don't have those yet. So I guess I'll put in another power plant, maybe one battery. This is not the best drone. I'll just leave it as the stock name, the Hellcat. Okay, so we got this pretty crappy drone, but it is functional. And now we put in our carrier, and now we can start to put the drones in. So you click on, I have to allow technology, because that drone is not viable yet, right? I haven't got the technology yet. Okay, so now I can put in, these are some of the drones that you kind of get default with this Galaxy roll, but I wanted that Hellcat, right? There it is. Okay, so let's just put those Hellcats in. Doesn't matter which way they point, because the arc for a drone launcher is 360 degrees. You can see that arc is 360. So it's just going to launch it out. I'm going to put drones in each quadrant, so that means I'm holding on to 4 drones. When you get bigger carriers, you could put multiple drones in each side. You could have 8 drones, for example. But you're going to need some component slots to put in. What I like to do is I put in one, let's put the all-out technology back. Put in one engine, one rotation, so it's really slow. But you have to have at least one engine and one rotation thruster, or it's not a valid design. And then I'm just going to load it up with power plants. Another good move is to load up with batteries, but these power plants are so weak that I think I'm going to need all the power plants, because batteries start fully charged, so you could kind of sneak out 2 drones at once, but I think I need a lot of power to get these drones out in any at any any kind of quickness. Okay, so we call it the Midway. You know what? I want to call it the Yorktown. Yorktown. I'm a bit of a World War II buff, so if you know anything about World War II, you'll know about the Yorktown. Okay, submit design. Okay, that's good. So that design is just waiting for us when I get that research. I could also be upgrading this with, if I go update, upgrade this. There is a button that I've put in recently. It's called auto update. So this will take any component that has been updated. Like in this case, it would be the Starship engines. And instead of having to unclick and click, you can just click auto update, and you see how they all updated to the latest version. This works for weapons too, which is nice. It's not perfect, but we'll put in the Hemi Mark II because we have the design point. We might as well use it. So the Hemi Mark II is ready to go. And if I wanted to, I could simulate my new design. Always a good idea. So the Yorktown and the Hemi Mark II against just some random guys. Submit. And let's just see how they do. So if we go to the Yorktown, you can see now it's powering up. It takes a lot of power and a lot of lock time, but once those drones come out, it will it'll launch them. Boom, there it goes. So now there's a little drone. Off he goes. And you can see, so this guy is basically the same as the Mark II, just is a little bit faster. But now these drones are going to see how this guy turned. He turned his attention to the drone. He was going to shoot my Hemi. Instead, he killed the drone. But who cares? The drones are expendable. And then my Hemis don't get attacked. So that's the power of a really good combo is drones with long-range, poorly defended ships. So these ships can shoot with some safety because the drones are going to be flying all around, and look how they're distracting these ships. These ships don't know what to do. They're just trying to shoot the drones. Meanwhile, all these missiles are flying in, attacking them at the same time. And the drones themselves can do quite a bit of damage. Also, putting your pet into your carrier is a nice move because the drones get a lot of activity. They get hit a lot. They shoot a lot. They're damaging things a lot. So it's a good way to level up your pets. And it keeps your pets pretty safe because they're usually in the background here out of harm's way unless some enemy gets behind the front line and gets to your carriers. So yeah, both those designs work good. I'm excited to get those carriers into my fleet. I'm going to have to make more shipyards to build those carriers. but I'll be able to do that pretty soon, I think. Or I could just upgrade these shipyards, but I don't want to make this into a home world planet like that. I want to get rid of all this and make it into a resource planet soon. Okay, I think that's everything. Did I increase? Oh, I got to increase. Are we at? Oh, we're at peace treaty now. So my buddy is finally figuring this out. We're now at peace treaty. So at peace treaty, this level of relationship, we're getting close to an alliance. We cannot invade each other still like before. But if our ships meet each other somehow, like we both go to a neutral planet, we will not fight each other. So we'll kind of work together at this level. And it's 2 levels away from fighting. So you can't, if you wanted to break your alliance, you can't do it in one turn. It would take several turns. So it gives the other guy time to react to you backstabbing him or her. Okay, so oh yeah, I have to click this, click increase diplomacy. I think that's everything. All right, let's end the turn. Okay, that was quite a long session. Hopefully you learned something from it. I'm having fun. It's just the game's just starting here. It'll get more interesting as we start to fight the AI computer players. And certainly I just want to stress it gets way more fun in this game when you play against a lot of human players. That's what the game really shines in my opinion, based on playing it in the past with previous versions really of this game. This is a new version that I'm just releasing on Steam for playtesting right now. But previous versions of this game that were not on Steam, we had a lot of fun playing it with multiplayer, with lots of alliances and all that stuff. So I'm hoping anyone watching this will enjoy and give that a shot. I'm looking to build a community around it, so I'm hoping that some of you might be interested to join me in that, and we can have some fun. All right, bye.